a man who has tried to get waiters fired for misgendering him. You probably know who I'm talking about. I've covered this man before. Is now explaining bottom surgeries to children on TikTok. Listen to this.
I am finally getting my banana split later this year. I talked to my surgeon on the phone, and this is how he's going to do it. Step 1 is, of course, to split the banana. Inside the banana, we find a small tube of red licorice. You know this tube. It's the one that transports caramel sauce and frosting. We're actually going to shorten this tube, and I will show you why later. Next up, we're going to move our way back to the ice cream bag that is holding the 2 maraschino cherries, and we're going to remove them. I already had mine removed last year, but if I hadn't, they'd be removed now. Next up, we're going to remove the innards from the banana so that it's basically just a hollow tube. Now that we have our tube, we need to flip it inside. The inside will be played by this butternut squash. As you can see, the tube of licorice that we cut is right here. You can see why we wanted it about this short. In order to flip our banana tube inside of the butternut squash, we must first make room in the butternut squash. So let's make some space. There we go. Finally, we can flip our banana tube inside of the butternut squash and let it heal. Healing can take up to a year, but really I'll be on my feet after a few months. And yes, this is very messy, but it's also very worth it.
Any man who dresses like a little girl and tries to explain bottom surgeries to children is a man who should not be around children. I was reading through the comments on this video. There's an entire Reddit thread about how awful this person is. And the best part is that the people commenting about this Reddit thread are literal transgender activists who are saying like this is a little weird. This guy, well, they're calling this guy a lady, her, whatever. But they're saying that he's a weirdo and how creepy he's being. One user said she definitely, we'll just forgive that. She definitely has a fascination with being a girl, not a woman, a girl. She dresses like a toddler. It's very odd. And her thank yous are completely disingenuous. It's gross. This is the type of content that children are exposed to on TikTok. And the creeps are trying to disguise it as necessary life-saving medical procedures for children. This is very important information you have to hear. No, there's nothing life-saving about teaching children about chopping something off because you want to pretend you have something else. This person, this guy, makes money online from these types of videos. And also, he makes money from going live on TikTok where he can accept like electronic monetary gifts that are like then converted into like actual like money, all of which the people who are watching these, there's like no age limit. Like TikTok's not, cracking down on an age limit. Do you think China's worried about that? No. This is the same man who would record himself ordering food at restaurants and would also catch waiters misgendering him, calling him sir, rightfully so, and then get them in trouble for not calling him a lady. These children who are spending hours on TikTok could come across this man wanting to teach children the procedure for chopping off your something and how wanting female parts when you're a man is normal, and also how to blame other people for your own delusion and how it's somehow their fault. It's scary. And speaking of scary, I have another video here of a non-binary person, which is just okay. A non-binary person who explains that she feels all or nothing when it comes to gender. All or nothing. Listen to this.
I want to try to define my gender, but it's really hard in 60 seconds, so I'm going to talk really fast. I'm gender fluid, and here's how that works for me. Most of the time, I'm one of two modes or mindsets. Most of the time, I am this weird amalgamation of genders and vibes and essence and just being that I literally cannot define. I don't know. You're just going to have to take my word for it. It's like the universe. It's ever flowing. There's sparkles, and it's just it changes over time and it moves through each other, and it's never one thing. And then other majority of the time I'm just a void. There's nothing there. There's just an absence, and I don't know how else to describe it. So either everything or nothing. Those are the two that I'm usually in. But then every once in a while, and I don't know where it comes from, but I'll just be thrust back into a binary. I'll just be sitting there chilling, enjoying my life, and then all of a sudden I'm a man? Who asked? Or a woman? Since when?
What's really sad is that these people are immature, oftentimes very young. Like I would say high school, college age. The people who haven't really comprehended that you can have mood changes, who you are as a person can develop and change. And that mood changes and growing up or changing doesn't mean like changing your gender. Does that make sense? Like a change in mood does not indicate a change in your gender. You don't need drugs when you're experiencing like the normal mood swings, having your interests change. You don't feel the same mood every day. I don't feel the same mood every day. But every time I'm in a bad mood, I don't think, you know what would fix this? Becoming a guy. Or like when I'm sad, you know what would change, what would make me feel better? If I identify as a non-binary person. And these children who, like I said before, on TikTok, who are online, who are seeing these videos where these mentally ill, unstable people are posting them for the world to see, these children, these young people, young adults are coming across them and they're naive and they're being influenced and not in a good way, not toward good things. And it's a shame that we have people in Gen Z and, the younger generation being raised on these viral videos like these, thinking that every time someone's going through a funk, it means that you were born in the wrong body and that you're not just going through a funk, you're not just going through a rough patch. No, it means that you need to make a life-altering health decision to feel better, when in reality that's not usually the case, and it usually doesn't make you feel better. It just makes things that far more complicated. And these videos are at their fingertips, and I'm just hoping, like literally praying, that sooner rather than later, more younger people start laughing at these videos, like we are, like a lot of you guys are with me, rather than making this type of video their religion and what they idolize. And what's wild to me is that there are still so many people who are arguing that kids are not being indoctrinated by this online. There's still a group of people who are arguing that, just like there's still a group of people who are arguing, that critical race theory and gender theory aren't being pushed into schools. But then we have videos like the one I'm about to show you, where these activists are announcing that they're trying to push transgender ideology on children. Teachers, too. Listen to this video.
Hey TikTok, just wanted to let you know that I am pushing my gay agenda on everybody. If I get a chance to talk to your children, I will turn them trans, and I'm also promoting obesity. Have a gay, fat, trans day.
Like, are those horns sticking out of her head? They're not even trying to hide it anymore. That pretty much just explains, like, society when it comes to pushing this ideology on children. Unhappy adults are trying to make children unhappy because they were unhappy. These are the type of people who should be kept far, far, far away from children. They're teachers in schools. They're professors in colleges. They're working with young children on a daily basis. They're the ones who are filming these videos and posting them on TikTok, where your children who are bored at home are scrolling and seeing. They're trying to normalize mental illness, and that's demonic. That's evil. It's not something that should be normalized. And this is exactly why parents, I think, are reevaluating a lot of public schools. They're reevaluating if their children should be homeschooled, because these are the people that are out there in the world who are affecting children on a daily basis.